the big story, at least in my world of college football, Michigan State, 31, taking down the Chippewas of Central Michigan. Not a great night for the Chippewas, but a pretty good night for the Spartans. I won't say a great night. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's start with the good, okay? The good was probably the defense, like, and like Noah Kim as the game continued, but mostly the defense, I'd say. So I want to look at some team stats here that I thought were pretty indicative of just how much better the defense looked, especially when compared to last year against Western Michigan. So this year, the Chippewas, they had 19 first downs, okay, to the Spartans 20, which, not a great ratio there. But the Chippewas were 3 for 16 on third down, meaning the defense was getting off the field. And that includes a fourth down, 0 for 1 on fourth down as well. But what that tells me mostly is when you put the team in a tough spot, you put them in third downs, 1 out of every 5 times, 3 for 16, you're putting them away, right? Like they're not getting up. Like that's it. You put them in the hole and now they're done. Like now that's it. And that is the thing that Michigan State struggled with, where it seemed like last year, it was like, I think it was Wisconsin or something. We had them on like a 3rd and 28 or something, and they managed to convert it. It's like something absurd like that. But that sort of thing, that is what changes games. See, like, it's not simply about limiting points, because that's important too, obviously. And in this game, we limit them to 1 score in 1 quarter the entire game. They scored 7 points and had the lead briefly for but a moment. Central Michigan was beating Michigan State, and Chippewa fans worldwide, all 10 of them, were thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to happen. Michigan State is going to lose to us on their first home opener, Friday Night Lights, national TV, FS1. Tim Brando's drinking the whole bottle of bourbon, and everything just fell out from under them. Pretty much after Central Michigan took the lead in that game, Noah Kim and the offense said, you know what? No more. No more. We are not losing to Central Michigan. And all of a sudden, things just went off. Total yards for Michigan State were 406, 279 passing yards for Noah Kim. In passing, they were 18 for 33. That includes a couple of passes from, Caton Hauser. 8.5 yards per pass, which is pretty good. It's roughly a first down or so. The other thing, rushing, 127 yards rushing, which not really amazing. But you had most of those rushing yards coming from one Nathan Carter. Nathan Carter is a name I did not know until this game started. In fact, if Nathan Carter walked into this room right now, I probably wouldn't recognize him. But Nathan Carter, on 18 carries against Central Michigan, ran for 113 yards, an average of 6.3 yards per carry, and a touchdown with a 31-yard rush. And I believe that was his first play. And I was like, Kenneth, is that you? Did you come back? 5th-year senior? No, not Kenneth Walker. Didn't have as big of a start as Kenneth Walker did either, where Kenneth Walker on his first play against Northwestern in 2021 scored a touchdown. So not Kenneth Walker, but a pretty dang good start, I would say, from Nathan Carter. He was making more plays after getting hit, where he'd get hit and then he'd gain, 3-4 yards after, or 2-3 yards after, or what have you. And that's the sort of thing that you need to be able to do if you want to run the ball in this league, and particularly in the Big Ten, where running the ball seems to be the staple. We're not exactly, running, Florida State 5 wideouts and, have fun. Just chuck the ball. Keon Coleman's got to be down there somewhere. We'll talk about that later. But Nathan Carter was the big story on the rushing. As far as the passing, it was a bit of a who's who, because I didn't know who any of these guys were, pretty much. And pretty much a good amount of them had some good plays. Jaron Glover, though, 3 catches for 75 yards, an average of 25 per catch. His long was a 33-yarder. That he came alive in that final drive of the first half to give Michigan State the lead, where they just that was it. They just ran away with it at that point. And he seemed to be a bright spot offensively as far as the passing game goes. Another one, Christian Fitzpatrick, 2 receptions for 70 yards. I mean, again, it's like if you make 1 or 2 of those big plays, it's like, yeah, I mean, like that big play, that sort of shifted the momentum for the game. At that point, we went ahead and that was it. Outside of those 2, you also had Trey Mosley, who I did remember, 3 receptions, 39 yards. He was okay. He wasn't terrible. He seemed like veteran presence, I guess. Jalen Berger also was probably better, I would say, on the pass catching than he was on the rushing. I think he got more yards actually on the pass with 4 receptions, for 30 yards, 7.5 average. An 11-yard reception was his big claim to fame. He also had a touchdown, but that was a rushing touchdown. But the other one was Tyrell Henry. I mean, he didn't do much in terms of total stats, 2 for 25. But he had a one-handed catch, and I believe it was the third quarter. That was pretty dang spectacular. I gotta give him credit. It was a pretty good catch. But that is the good. And I guess I could talk about Noah Kim as well. So Noah Kim started a little rough. On the night, though, you look at his stats: 18 for 31, 279 yards, couple of touchdowns. What am I gonna say? That's not bad. That's a pretty good stat line, right? I mean, I can't be upset with that. But he really struggled in the first half. But once he got out of that rut, once he figured it out, once he started connecting with his receivers, seemed like there might have been something there. Now, again, it's Central Michigan, so take all this good with a grain of salt. Speaking of take all this good with a grain of salt, now we got to talk about the bad. So the bad was, wow, that first half was rough. That was awful. I mean, I was saying it on the stream. You can go back and watch the live reaction. My goodness, that offense looked anemic. It looked like a paraplegic would have a better time getting across the field than our offense would. It was Noah Kim missing guys. It was guys dropping balls, namely Malik Carr, who really got on my nerves. He ended up catching a touchdown near the end of the game, but goodness gracious, Malik, you had multiple big-time plays where if you catch the ball, you could have ran it for a touchdown. You could have ran it for 50 yards. You could have ran it for 60 yards. You could have ran it, I don't know, to down to Okemos, where I don't know. You could run it anywhere. You were wide open on multiple occasions, or you broke coverage and you just dropped the ball. And now that's not on scheme because the play was set up perfectly. You were ready to go. You just have to execute at that point as a player. But that is not to say that scheme was not a problem here, because you were down against Central Michigan, which in and of itself is a bit of an indictment on this offense. Like, you cannot allow these slow starts to define you at any point in the season. Now, I will allow some level of grace because it's a new quarterback. He's still getting used to the system. A little bit of pressure. First night starting in his college career. And, if they go into Richmond this week and they put up 31 in the first half, all right, fine. We might have something here offensively. And I'm not gonna scream to fire Jay Johnson, although, frankly, if they fired Jay Johnson, I wouldn't exactly be losing my mind. I mean, that even with the good offensive production near the end, or from the final 2 minutes of the second quarter to the rest of the game, the offense was good. I need that to be the whole game, because good teams are not going to go and score just 7 points in the first half. Good teams are going to take advantage of the failure that you have, especially on fourth down. And that's another oh my goodness. Good teams are going to take I'll just finish my thought. Good teams are going to take advantage of that, right? They're not going to just, go 3-0 themselves and then whatever. But you cannot fail to convert 2 4th and 1s. Not only can you not fail to do that, you ran the same play on both of them. I was watching it, and it's like 4th and 1. Okay, we're in the shotgun. Okay. Well, the first time it's like, okay, let's see what we actually end up doing. And we just hand it off to Carter, and he gets stuffed because he's taking what needs to be or what should be a 1-yard run and turning it into like a 4-yard run, essentially, right? Because you're about, I don't know, maybe like 3 yards back from the snap, and now you're just standing there. You have to build up your momentum to move forward. Whereas guys on the defensive line or guys in the linebacking core, they can just, like a bat out of hell, just bullet right through you, and then they stuff you. You do it once, okay, didn't work. Tried to catch them off guard with the shotgun. Maybe they think you're going to pass. You don't know. But you do it twice? Jay, what is this? I mean, I don't understand. What is I already don't like the shotgun 4th and 1 unless you plan on passing the ball, which is already kind of a question mark. But at least it makes sense that you would be in the shotgun. But to do it twice? I mean, what is the strategy? We're so dumb. They would never expect us to do something dumb 2 times. It's yeah, I guess they wouldn't think that, because it's so dumb that not only would they not expect it to work, it wouldn't work because it's that dumb. That was the worst of it, I would say, offensively for Michigan State. I was gonna talk about the ugly, but that was pretty much the ugly, actually. That was the ugly. I didn't even talk about the defense, which, pretty much looked better, I guess. Like I said, they looked good on 3rd down. They were able to get off the field, and you had Cal Halliday, total of 10 tackles, and he had a TFL and an interception. You had a lot of these other guys bringing pressure. Jacoby Windman with a sack. Okay. I mean, the defense looked better. We didn't give up, 13 points like we did against Western, or however many points we gave up. We gave up just 7, and they were in just 1 quarter. And we were able to make big-time stops in tough situations and first-and-goal situations where that was the other thing. That and maybe that could be the ugly, is just the level of, stupid penalties. That, to me, is unforgivable. You had a 1st and goal or a 3rd and goal, and they were way back in the 20. It would have been about a 35, 40-yard field goal. You had them pinned. And for one, you give up a big play, which almost gets a touchdown. But secondly, you then take that play and you add on, actually, we're going to give them an extra set of downs, right? Correct myself. They didn't give a big play. They nearly gave a big play. They got lucky. And then they gave them, as a thank you gift for giving them luck, Michigan State said, you know what? Unsportsmanlike conduct, automatic 1st down. Those are the things that drive me up a wall. You cannot give up a stupid penalty when the team that is trying to win is giving you the victory, when they are unable to catch balls that are thrown right to them with nobody on them. You have been given a bone. Take it and run. Goodness gracious. Oh, I'm getting angry just thinking about the game, and we won the game. That's what's crazy to me. We won the game, and yet ultimately, I am only adequately satisfied. I would give them a B- or a B on the night, because that first start, that was awful. That was just terrible. It was awful to watch. It was bad on mostly the offensive front, but it didn't look good. They cleaned it up. They looked better near the end of the game. They ran away with it, which is what you need to do. They cover the spread. Hey, cover the spread. I'm not going to be upset when you cover the spread and win. But all that to be said, Michigan State going up against Richmond this week. It's another team that's, frankly speaking, a cupcake. It's in your home, 3:30 afternoon, Big Ten Network, not a whole lot of pressure, okay? Not nationally broadcast, none of that. All you got to do is go into that game and, for me, score 31 in the first half. Score 25 in the first half. Score 30 in the first. I don't care. Blow them out before you have to go into the tunnel for the first time. Get them pinned to the ground and put the knife through their face. Just end it all before they even have the chance to say, go Spiders. Okay? I don't want any semblance of a slow start. If we see another slow start, you're going to get Angry Mike next week. And you're already getting Angry Mike. But if you go in and you blow them out, you're going to get, okay, all right, we've warmed up, had our preseason games. Now all the focus is on Washington, who's got a lights-out offense. We'll talk about Washington in a bit, but that is the game. That's the Miami of this season. 2021, when we went out on the road and beat Miami, that changed the trajectory of where we thought we could go this season. I think that Washington game is going to determine. And if you don't win, fine. You need to be competitive. You can't get blown out like you did last year. You can't look embarrassing. You can't be giving up stupid penalties. Can't be doing any of that. Can't be doing any of that. And you certainly can't do that next week. I like how I'm already jumping to the Washington game when we still have Richmond. We're on to Richmond. Whatever. So, in totality, Michigan State. Oh, also, we got a kicker. We got a guy who can actually make kicks. It's a miracle. I didn't know. I was unaware that you could actually have a kicker who makes field goals. That was news to me. But apparently you can. Jonathan Kim, 1 for 1 with a 47-yarder, and he made all 3 extra points. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was like, oh, that's what special teams is like. So, yeah. All that being said, Michigan State, on to Richmond. See what they can do. Like I said, 31 in the first half. Put them away before they get the chance to say, go Spiders. Okay. Hey there. What you just watched was actually a clip from a larger show that we do every Tuesday night. What are you doing Tuesday night? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the like button so that you don't miss out on any more of our weekly shows every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you there.